Welcome back everybody. It is another Dephemerember day and it is prompt number 23, tag and shattered glass today. Now, as you can see, I've been experimenting this morning and what I've been experimenting with is trying to achieve a shattered glass effect on the gel plate. I haven't had my gel plates out for ages, so this has been really fun actually. I've realised how much I miss them. But anyway, I googled shattered glass on the gel plate and I found a lady, Lucy's Art and Craft, and I will try and remember to link her channel below. And she did this amazing print which looked like shattered glass, and so this morning I've been trying to recreate that, following exactly what she did. Now, if you could see my desk, yes, there's all these, and there's all these, which I'm not convinced that they quite look like shattered glass, but I mean, they're really interesting, and you know, they'll make some really cool backgrounds. Yeah, I'm not convinced I've got it quite right, but I'm sort of getting there, and I feel like this is not too bad, and this one's not too bad, and this one. So they're kind of getting to where I want them to go. So I think my shattered glass for this prompt is going to be more of a pattern inspiration than an actual shattered glass look, but I'll show you how I've achieved this. And as I say, not my idea. This is Lucy's Art and Craft, so do check out her channel. Now, I've just been working on these are pieces that are about A5. This is a reasonably thick paper. It's I think it's 160 GSM. And this is what I start with, is just a bit of a blobby background. Now this one I did do a whole A4 sheet on here. And as you can see, I've been sort of experimenting with different colours. So I'll show you how I did this. And I've literally just put a few blobs like that. And then a different colour again. And ooh, that was a bit too much. Let's just get rid of some of that. Now, the video that I watched said don't mix this too, you know, you're not looking for a smooth kind of even colour. You know, I've actually got enough on there now that I'm going to spread that right across, because I'll always use it. Yeah, so you're not looking for a sort of a smooth even cover, you're just looking for a bit of a blobby background. Right, let's just spray that off. This is what I'm using. And this is from a shop called Kmart, which I know is New Zealand and Australia. Sketch Artist Pad, and it's 160 GSM. And it's really nice if you want a decent quality, you know, thickish paper. And it pulls gel prints really nicely. So all I've been doing is creating a background like that. Now I've got this on an acrylic block so I can flip it over and show you. There we go. But I'm actually going to leave that one to dry, and I'm going to use this one. So once you've got your background done, you take your black paint. And look, I've experimented so much this morning with different thicknesses of paint, different papers. It's in the original video it said quite a thick, I'm going to put a little bit more on there, quite a thick layer, and it's quite a warm day here, so things are drying quite quickly. Now that's probably a bit thicker than I would normally use. for gel printing, but I found that better. And then what you do, and I'm going to do this and then I'll show you how to do the paper, because otherwise this is going to dry. But basically you're taking tissue paper which you have twisted in the middle and placing it on your gel print, on your gel plate rather. One of the things I have found is if you can get the lines straighter, it seems to look more like glass. And you cover your whole plate like that and just give it a press so that you're taking some of that paint off. And as with anything gel printing, you know, it's hit and miss. You know that's the fun of gel printing. Now I'm just going to try and lift a little bit more just from that bit there. Oh, there's a wasp, that's fun. And then before it dries, and this is why I'm having to work quite quickly today, you get your background down on it. Now I'm just going to leave that there for a moment to dry, and I'm going to get rid of that wasp because I don't react well to wasp stings. I'll be back in a moment. Disaster averted, I've got rid of the wasp. All right. So whilst that's just having a minute to dry, I'll show you with this tissue paper. Now, basically you take a piece of tissue paper and you scrunch it in the middle, and I found through a bit of experimentation it's almost better, you get a better result if you kind of pleat it a little bit like that and then you twist it. And you need sort of 3 pieces, and obviously the size of your gel plate is going to dictate the size here, but you saw how I put them on. One and one, just until your gel plate's covered with the twists all in the same place. Now I also tried this with a thin copy paper today. It didn't work. The tissue paper did work better. I wasn't able to get as straight a line as Lucy did on her video, but you know, that might just be trial and error. But that's how you fold your paper. And what I would say is fold this before you put your black paint down, particularly if it's a warm day like today. All right, let's pull our other background print because this will be done, just to show you. But you know what, if you've done gel printing, you know how to do this. There you go. So that's your base layer, and then you put the black over the top to give you the stained glass effect. Let's have a look. As I said, it's quite a warm day here, so things are drying quite quickly. So it's really variable. So look at the difference. I think with this, I perhaps didn't take quite enough off. This is more of the effect. I think these two are more of the effect that I'm looking for. So I'm going to try one more with this green. What I'm actually going to do is to cut this piece in half, and that'll give me the 2 smaller bits to use. So we'll do one, see how it comes out, and we might try the other one as well. Now, I can tell that that is already too dry for me to lift, but that's okay. And actually, I think this might be quite a cool one. I have taken more off. What I'm going to do with this is to leave it to dry completely, and then I'm going to use the gloss gel medium. And I did this on one of the others this morning. Let me see if I can find it. It's this one, and I'll show you the difference. So this one I pulled with gloss gel medium. Now can you see when I turn that in the light, it does have a little bit of a shine compared to that one. I don't know whether you can see that on camera. Anyway, so we'll just give this a minute to finish. We won't, it's dry already. There you go. It's that kind of day today here. I'm completely out of matte gel medium, so I'm reverted to gloss today. And actually for this, I think it gives quite a cool effect because of the, you know, we're trying to achieve a glass effect. Okay, let's pick this one. Now this is going to need to be left to dry because that gloss medium's got to pull up that black paint. But we can have a bit of a sneak peek. Let's see. Okay, that's actually more what I was hoping to achieve. Now I'm thinking with this one, what I did slightly differently, when I put the paper down, I pulled it taut like that. So I pulled it from each end, and I pressed down a little bit more to take some more of the paint off. So I'm going to leave this to dry. I'm actually going to repeat the process just a couple more times. I'll try one more with this one. And we'll see. Right, whilst that's drying, I just want to show you this. I opened up a couple of those pieces that I'd been using, and as you can see, I also tried it with a dark blue and a brown as the pull layer, and I was going to kind of throw these away, and I've opened them up and I thought, oh, actually they might make some quite interesting collage fodder. You never know. Right, so there we go. That's just an aside. Right, I'm going to give this a moment to dry. I'm going to finish putting all my paints and all my mess away, and then we'll come back and have a look. Let's pull this last one. I've had a really good clean up of everything else. Oh. Let's turn it around so I'm pulling towards me. And that has actually got that kind of real glassy effect again in the background because of the gloss gel medium. Alright, so let's have a look, see what I've managed to achieve and which ones I might want to use. I'm just going to have to flick through them like this, otherwise they're not all going to fit into the screen, are they? 2, that kind of thing. I'm going to use these, maybe some or all of these, for today's project. So that's my interpretation of shattered glass. What was the other piece? I've completely forgotten. Tags. Okay, tag and shattered glass. I've been so focused on the shattered glass, I haven't even thought about the tag element of this prompt. So I will give that some thought. I will come back and we will turn these into tags. First things first, I'm going to cut these into some tag sizes, actually, funnily enough. And I have, this is the inside of a piece of a concertina folder. It's thin card. So I'm going to back these onto the card to make those tags a little bit more sturdy. Right, I'm wanting the ephemera that I make during this challenge to have a fairly cohesive look. So I've chosen these 2 pieces to work on today. That's not saying I won't use the others, but these are the ones I'm going to start off with. So as you'll see, I'm just straightening up some edges, getting rid of those white bits. That's now a nice size to stick onto that card, and then it can be cut up into tags. I'm going to do exactly the same with this bit. Right, so in terms of compartmental making, you can see that those 2 gel prints really very quickly turned into the basis of 8 tags, and I deliberately did them all different sizes with different angles at the top, but they all have my interpretation of a shattered glass background. So I'm going to decorate certainly some of these now, and I have pulled out some of the bits and pieces that I've been using over the last couple of weeks, because I do want a sense of consistency and cohesion through the journal, but hopefully I can bring in some other pieces as well from my swap box this week from my lovely partner Gajana, whose channel is Diary of a Creative Therapist. I've pulled out these pieces. Now, I love this peg with this kind of glittery snowflake on, and I'm wondering if I can, you know, use it on the top of one of the tags like that. I don't know. I'll have a think about that. I've got a little bit of fabric, which came from the bookmark. These 2 pieces came from a wrapper of, it looks like it's something with marzipan in. Anyway, I had some of those wrappers. I used a bit yesterday. Have these little cork stickers and this little interesting cutout here, and then I have the last of my butterfly labels from her as well. And of course in my box I found my lovely box of orange chocolates, so I'm going to be enjoying a couple of those whilst I craft as well. I have my tins of bits and pieces up here, So I'll be pulling from those. I don't know whether I'm going to do all of these today, but I'm certainly going to get a couple done. So, you know, we'll see how we go. Everybody, so I've been creating quite happily there. I'm just about out of time today, but as you can see, I have done those first 4, and then I have 4 other tags ready to go into my stash and be used and finished off at a later date. So I've kept the theme very much sort of the vintage. There's some butterflies in there, some numbers and script elements, all kind of elements that I've used before. And as I say, that's with the aim to go for that kind of overall cohesiveness from the pieces that I'm creating. So we've got our interpretation of shattered glass in the background, and that was done on the gel plate for these tags, and then I've decorated them on top of that. So I hope that's been fun to watch. Have a go at the shattered glass effect on the gel plates. Let me know how you get on, and do check out Lucy's Art and Craft, because she seemed to be a little bit more successful than I was. But look, have a go. Let me know how you get on. Show me some photos if it interests you. All right, but for now, that's it for today. I'm going to say ka kite anō. Stay safe. I'll see you the next time.